My name is Sudar and this is Alex, and we'll show you our presentation now.
So mutual support is a tradition where people come together for collective work in order to achieve a common goal. It's been a way of life in most cultures around the world and an important coping mechanism in the face of human and natural disasters. In the Philippines, we call it bayanihan, and in Norway, we call it dugnad. These traditions structure how decisions are made, where and when people meet, and how disputes are resolved. It is a form of collaboration rooted in other forms of knowledge, values, and experience. I first came across bayanihan 10 years ago when building a study center in Tacloban, Philippines. The program, design, and construction was done collaboratively through a process that the community identified as bayanihan. The building became a symbol of the collective effort and was maintained and operated through mutual support. In November 2013, a storm surge caused by Super Typhoon Haiyan flattened the informal settlement and the study center. Having organized through bayanihan before the disaster enabled the group to provide support in immediate aftermath. The community elected a core group to facilitate the workshops to build back through storytelling, role-playing, drawing, model making, mapping, and mock-ups. We go beyond the constraints of language and allow feelings and ideas to be expressed and discussed more openly and directly.
The use of solid concrete blocks and light wooden frames were concepts the community identified in response to the trauma of the disaster. The open ventilated timber structure allows for strong winds to pass through while also maintaining a connection to the outdoors. The solid concrete blocks reference an old play castle that survived the storm surge and thus became a symbol of safety. This experience made a profound impact on the way that we approach architecture. When we approach architecture as a process, the focus shifts to examining the consequences of how something was built. We change the question from what architecture is to what architecture does over time. By breaking down this process into 6 phases, we build a shared understanding that allows us to design and build together. The Vietnamese tradition of Doi Kong structured our collaboration to design and build a textile cooperative in the village of Lung Tam. Through intensive sessions, organized between planting and harvest seasons, the cooperative members mapped their existing facilities and developed a new design for the site, which we tested through a small prototype.
The new cooperative consists of reused wooden houses kept since the Vietnam War. These were structural members that they brought with them during the forced relocations from the hilltops to the bottom of the valley. A move that has exposed them to landslides and high risks of flash floods. The design therefore carries a symbolic importance to the community, passing down the history of the relocation while also housing the craft that they cherish the most. So by situating a process within the values, experience, and ambitions of the community, the reflections and actions also belong to them. For the São Paulo Biennale, which is to the left, we worked through the Brazilian Mutirão to design and install 5 banners that represents causes that they believe the migrants we worked with, the city needed to hear. And also, to the right, we recently completed a community center through the Norwegian Dugnad.
So to address the theme of the Venice Architecture Biennale, how will we live together, we teamed up with the community in Angat, Philippines that practices bayanihan as part of their way of life. Through the 6-step process, we designed and built a library and a conflict resolution space in response to the need for privacy and security brought by the dense living conditions. The building is now exhibited in Venice and will return to the village after the Biennale. So we aim to rediscover how traditions of mutual support can inform the way we live and build together. Through our projects, we have built a network of collaborators that help broaden our understanding of what mutual support can contribute to the architectural discourse. We have seen how we rely on these traditions when we face typhoons, flood, war, or even the pandemic. We have experienced how these traditions can allow multiple voices and values to shape the architecture we create. We want to continue this journey to understand what mutual support can be across cultures and communities around the world. Thank you.